Welcome to the 84th edition of FD Zone. Today we're screening two films. Benefits of Bhakra Nangal is the first film, 35mm, 11 minutes, produced by M. Bhavnani. The second film, Char, or The No Man's Island, is by Sourav Sarangi. It's a 2012 production and it's 88 minutes. Both the films are, centric around the river Ganga. The first film, looks into this huge hydroelectric project which India got into, and it's a celebration of what's going to be in store for India. That was in 1955. Literally 55 years down the line, Sourav Sarangi goes to downstream, and he's going to Malda district. In Malda district, the river Ganga is, going through a very strange phenomena, and this has been happening for the last 30 years. The river has constantly been changing its course. And what it means physically is that, it leaves its course, so it deviates. And once it deviates, what it does, land comes up. But the river eats up the land on the other side. In the process, of course, villagers, they have to move out. And the villagers have found out their own method. They lose land over here and they grab land on this side. And this new land which emerges is called Char. This problem has been aggravated ever since the Farakka Barrage came up in 1961, and this film does mention, there's a hint of that in the film. So Sourav looks at what is happening down in the river. We see a lot of soil erosion, but his film focuses on the life of this young man, this young boy, 12-year-old, and how his life is constantly changing with the changing course of the river. So Char by Sourav Sarangi, that's going to be the feature-length documentary for the day. So enjoy the screenings. Sourav is not going to be there with us, but we can always have a detailed discussion after both the films. Thank you. Any observations about the film? Just feel free.
Actually, I was there very early in the film. I mean, much before the entire story kind of developed. So I was there when he was like really thinking about how to shoot the river. So a lot of the stuff that I shot is of the river, much before the whole story of the boy kind of developed. So in that sense, yeah, not too much that I can talk about in terms of the film or the process.
I've shot there for a week, so I'm just very curious to know what was your experience like?
In terms of the fact that yes, it's very extraordinary where you have just these islands coming in and then changing, and the fact that they don't really belong. Yeah, they neither side will recognize them. So in that sense, yes, the lack of any kind of amenities is what really strikes you, and like really they are left to themselves, to fend for themselves.
So did you kind of explore the area close to the border, or you were on this side of the Farakka Barrage?
On the side of the Farakka Barrage for sure, but also on the Chars, where they're just moving, and they talk about like last year we were at some other place, this year we're here. We don't know where we're going to be post next monsoons.
A similar kind of flooding happens in Bihar as well, wherein the river constantly changes its course. So is that something that we see here too?
I think Arvind Sinha's film talks about that, the Bihar experience. Rubel, right? Well, I met him last January. He was fine. I mean, he's still living there in the Char. Yeah. Hmm. See, this island kind of, it keeps, you saw towards the end of the film, that particular Char got flooded. So quite possible, they'll wait for the flood to recede. It may not happen. There's a possibility that there may be an island few miles down. So they will move over there. There was this particular scene in the film where you saw where these villagers were kind of referring to the old map, and that map becomes a reference how to mark land for this, in this new island. That's the way it works out over there. There is no kind of a legal stratified code over there. It's just like, there's an understanding between the villagers that, okay, we lost our land. In this piece of land, which the river has given us, how do we mark it? And that's how they lead their lives. What was your experience? I never got that sense. Never.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it's really between them. I mean, there is. I mean, what really strikes you is that there's absence of any kind of system or any kind of, you can say, all our government agencies getting there. Nothing. I mean, water, electricity, roads, nothing. They're pretty much onto themselves.